I figured I'd show everybody how I fill in gaps and missing parts and stuff on a plane, holes, stuff like that, like on this Aeroscout tail, hole like that. When I first started doing this, I first started using Gorilla Glue. I'd use the white Gorilla Glue that foams up to fill this up, and what I found is it kind of made a plastic like plug that kind of weighed a little bit. It also got yellow with age. So I was at the dollar store one day, Dollar Tree if you're in the US, looking in their craft aisle, and they got an aisle with, you know, things that are $1, little pieces of wood, little things you can use if you're building planes, and I found these, which are foam beads. $1 for a bag of them. There really ain't much. They're what these planes are made out of. That's why with all these little circles, they pour these into a mold and pressure and heat, and out pops Styrofoam Airplane. But come in a couple different sizes. These are bigger and smaller, and they're also a big mess. That's why those bags are still closed. One thing I did is I got an old pop bottle and drilled a hole in the top, and that way I can kind of get, they're still kind of a mess, but they come out. They're also really staticky. This is what's in a beanbag chair. If you're old like me and you ever seen a beanbag chair explode, this is what's in them, and they get all over and they're a mess. So that's where this comes in handy to use. And all I really do is I use foam tack. I'm down to less foam tack now. I keep spending a bunch of money on this stuff. But anyways, all you do, it's pretty self-explanatory, is fill this hole with some foam tack and stuff beads in it. And basically what I do is I fill this hole up, let it dry, fill the hole up, then take one of these dollar store knives. The best thing about it is the long blade, because it follows the contour. And I will shave that nice and clean. Usually when I put this stuff in here, I'll build it up so it's going to be higher than this all around. That way when I come across, it's going to give me a clean cut. And that don't leave a big plug or anything. Best thing about foam tack here is this stuff is a solvent. It dissolves the foam, and it gives the foam kind of makes it sticky, and it gives it the same kind of bond as this. It's not as tough because it's not compressed, but it makes a good bond and doesn't add any extra weight. Now after that, I'll come across and use some of this foam filler here. This is also good for dents and stuff. It's by Beacons, the same people that make foam tack. I think this stuff is just like dissolved foam in some kind of solvent. But it's kind of like a Bondo or spackle. And I just use an old credit card. Just come across. I don't like filling in big dents with this. I like more smaller. The smaller the coat, the better it is. And then you fill that in right like that. And the last thing you do is use the foam tack foam finisher. If you ever take stickers off and it leaves that, this is nice and shiny, you take a sticker off and it leaves like a thing that soaks up the paint. It takes the sticky off, or the shine off. This will put it back on, and you apply it the same way you apply it with a credit card. But that's my way I've found to fix this stuff really easy and cheaply. And like I said, it doesn't leave any weight. The Aeroscout, let me show you the Aeroscout. Alright, this is the Aeroscout that I've been working on lately. And I crashed it once when I first was putting it together. And it pretty much bent or cracked this, and you can kind of see where I fixed it. I didn't do a great job, but I was going to buy a new hood, and then I found out they were 12 bucks, and a couple years ago I just would have done it. Now it's like, So I fixed that. That was with the beacons. I filled a little bit of the gaps in with the beads. But here, let me show you this. This right here was, I put in my lights, and of course the little wire broke, so I had to solder it. And of course I hit the corner here with the soldering iron. Well, you can see what I've done here is I've got that filled in with beads. I got a little divot here. I want to put another couple beads in there. And then, like I said with the knife, I just follow the contour down, and then I'll fill it. This right here, I don't know if you can see it. That's a piece of dollar store foam board. Like if you crash and you got a gap here, I filled it with dollar store foam board, foam tacked it down, and then filled it with the foam tack filler. Now you can see I did a sloppy job. This plane was more to get up and flying and to fly it, and not really to make it that pretty. And really all this, what I'm showing you is things that you can improve on, whatever you want to do. I'm just showing you what I do. Maybe it'd give you a better idea of something to do to fix. But that's what I've come across for fixing this stuff so far. One more thing I'll show you. All right. So this poor old EC-1500, I crashed a couple times. And these things had the battery up here, which is really heavy, and it just would tear the nose off. The whole nose came off this, and I lost big chunks. But you can see, this is before I started using this stuff. This is just those beads. But I rebuilt this whole chunk of fuselage, and not very well, with those beads. And you can see I filled in an area right there. But that's just using the foam beads and foam tack. And I mean, it held up. It don't look very good. I think I may redo that. But that was my first use of that stuff, and it worked. I mean, it'd fly. Didn't fly very good before, but I think I could do a better job now. And that's one reason I saved it. I'm thinking about getting this thing back together. But that's another video. But anyways, that's how I fix with the foam beads, foam tack, and foam filler.